Hey everybody, this is Heather, the Hidden Historian, and I'm out here today with my friend Vicky, and we are having a little adventure around Umstead Park looking for ruins. So we are actually right there where she's pointing. We're at the Brown Homestead, but everywhere you see a word here, that means it's a historic site. So you may already know, or you may not. I know I didn't for a long time, but this is a map of Umstead Park. Umstead Park is way more than just a place to hike on the trails, and go out on your bike or go for a hike or go camping. This was land where people lived at least since the 1700s, and that's settlers, European settlers. Before that, very likely there were people living here before that as well. But there are lots of ruins out here if you know where to look. So we're out here at the Brown Homestead. Like I said when I showed you the map earlier, there's ruins really all over the park if you know where to look, and some of them are really not even that far off the trail. We're gonna go take a look at that ruin over there, but I just want to show you this one first. We got part of an old homestead. It looks like it's under the tree. There's a few things that I've learned through doing historic research here. One of them is that if you're hiking through the park and you see a big old big tree like this, usually still standing, that's a sign that that was someone's yard. There were people who lived here again in the 17 and 1800s. There's a whole community. Houses, school, a church. There was just a lot of people lived out here before this became a park that we know today. This is part of one of the homesteads, and this one's pretty deep in the woods. We've seen several old staircases in the woods. We've seen several chimneys in the woods, and we're going to go take a look at that over there. That is a chimney. I wanted to show you one other thing. Right here, you can see, is it tulips? Daffodils, thank you. Got my scientist out here with me today helping me out. Yeah, you can see a bunch of them here. See the little daffodils poking through the ground? Anywhere you see a daffodil out here in the woods at the park, that was someone's front yard. And it makes sense because you've got this line of daffodils. These possibly date back to the 1800s, and they're still growing here year after year. And boom, there is a part of the house that was standing here. So this is probably the front yard of the house. And I bet you that that big tree right there that seems to have fallen over on the remnants of the house, that was probably a marker of this person's yard as well. Now, we've been out here hiking for several hours. And like I said, this site is pretty deep in the woods. I'm going to show you what's back here, though. There's quite a lot back here, and I was excited to let you see it. By the way, all of this is going to be in my book that I'm working on. That's why I'm out here today. I'm doing a book on ghost towns and lost communities across North Carolina, all of them being places where you can visit yourself. So if you like exploring history and you want to go visit these places, the book will actually tell you how to get to them. So here you go. I did not put that up there. I don't think that's natural. Probably someone did that. This particular homestead, again, this is the Brown Homestead, has more than just the stones. There's farm equipment littering back there, really about as far as you can walk. And I'll show you some of it. Maybe some of you will know what it is and can tell me. We have found a few things out here today that we're not sure what we're looking at. But this right here, this would have been the, this is the chimney, and then this is the fireplace. So we're standing right now probably in the living room of the house that was here before. And the family would have sat here in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and they would have sat around the fire to stay warm, living right here on this land. So again, there are houses. There's a map I showed at the beginning of the live stream. I'll show it again as we go through the live stream more, but the map shows you the road we're walking down today, hiking. There's basically a homestead every 100 to 200 yards. You can go out in the woods and see some kind of pile of stones. Sometimes there's a staircase. Sometimes it's just a ruin that you can barely recognize. This one is way out in the woods, so it's harder to access. There's a lot of farm equipment back here. This is the biggest homestead ruin that we have found so far because it's so far back in the woods it's kind of untouched. But look at this. Found this. So how long did people live here before this became Umstead Park? Because again, a lot of people hike out here today, and they maybe have no idea that there's cemeteries throughout the park. In fact, as I was talking about the road we're hiking down, every 100 to 200 yards, you'll find a homestead, and then you usually will find a cemetery attached to the homestead, because that's where the family back in the 1800s would bury their loved ones, right there on the home property. See another pile of stones out there, probably a structure. In fact, look, we see more daffodils here. And again, what we've been told by the families that used to live here on this property, that the daffodils mark the front of a home. So this was probably someone's garden. Perhaps it was a backyard garden. You see fence posts out there. We actually found a tree that had some really old nails in it, square head nails. If I'm able to find that tree again, I'll show it to you. But those nails very likely made in the 1800s. I'm going to take you just a little further back. We've been out here a few hours, so I'm getting pretty tired. But you can see there's just stuff everywhere. We found like what looked like an old engine, like part of an engine that was attached to a, some sort of farm equipment. Let's see what I can find out here to show you.
The nails are in the fence already.
Oh, okay, we're going to look in the tree for the old nails. And if any of you recognize any of this stuff, there's a bunch of old, we'll show you some stuff over here too. This over here looks like a trough. We're not sure. If you know what it is, you let us know. Yeah, I actually originally thought that maybe it was part of a vehicle. You can see like lots of old farm equipment out here. We don't know what it all is. Oh yeah, is this the... Yeah, some sort of farm equipment. If you know what it is, let us know. This farm equipment goes way back. I mean, it's everywhere. Oh yeah, another piece. Vicky's good at remembering. Anybody know what that is? If you know, let us know in the comments. This is a homestead. Now, this specific homestead belonged to the Brown family. Now, I don't know yet the history of this specific homestead, but I do know the homesteads here, many of them date back to the 1800s. Oh yeah, here's the old nail. Let's take a look at it. Look at this old square head flat nail. If anybody's an expert at things like this, and you can tell exactly what this is, you let us know. But my understanding of nails like this, which look like they're made by hand, is that they're probably not modern. They're probably 1800s, possibly early 1900s, but... And then, the families lived here for generations. Like I said, this land that's now Umstead Park, when you're hiking down these pathways, you may not realize, but just off the path, let's show the map again real quick. All of this. Look, we walked down just this road. The King, we saw the King Cemetery, which is right there. The King family was a major family that lived out here on this land. Then we saw the King Homestead, Carpenter Homestead, the Slater Homestead, and the Carpenter Cemetery. Here we're at the Brown Homestead. Carpenter Cemetery was way out in the woods too. Very old. Some of the graves there dated back over 100 years, and they haven't been touched in quite a long time. And we can see there are dynamite shacks out here. The Page Cemetery is also very old. The Company Mill is another site you can hike to out here. It's got the remnants of the mill that used to serve this community. There's even a water tower site, several cemeteries, and then eventually this land became a CCC camp. So I do know the history of the land overall is that back in the 1800s and early 1900s, there were homesteads, and you can still find ruins of those homesteads out here today. But as time went on, and by the way, that community was, there were cows, there were chickens. It was a farming community. There were mills, there was a church and a school. So this was a fully functioning community. And this road that we were walking down with all these homesteads, they were neighbors, right? So it was not a park for hiking. It was a place where people lived. And you can see remnants of their community if you hike here today. You can get a map just like that at the Umstead Visitor Center, which is where we got it. So if you want to go explore just like us, you're welcome to do that. If you're really interested in this, definitely Squarehead nails were made from the 1700s until 1830. Thanks, Dad. So these, by the way, yes, some of the things out here do date back to the 1700s. It really just depends on which family you're talking about, how long they lived here. But anyways, if you're really interested in this kind of stuff, there's some more daffodils. There's a ton out here to explore, and of course, you can pick up my Hidden History of North Carolina book, which is not out yet. I'm working on it. That's why I'm out here today. But keep an eye out for it, because I'll be doing more adventures and posting about them as we go. Thank you for joining me and Vicki on this fun adventure today, and we'll see you next time. Bye.